right, and welcome everybody to another edition of the GSMC Baseball Podcast, Patreon exclusive content brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I am your host, Kenneth Grunfelder, and as always, it's great to have you guys on this Tuesday, now afternoon. It is now, well, again, at least for me, it's now 12:01 p.m. on the East Coast. Just got wrapped up with the live stream show. Went through the latest headlines and news around Major League Baseball. Then talked about the power rankings that were released this week. And then went through game recaps and also talked about the games for tonight and the playoff implications regarding that. So that was basically the rundown. Again, I mean, these shows just go so fast. It really just is incredible. I mean, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just like from being out of school, but the days and the weeks just fly by faster than they've ever had. And it, not going to lie, it kind of stresses me out, to be honest. Because I just feel like there's not enough time in the day anymore. Like, just, I don't know. But, yeah, so we had a lot to talk about today. We went through some headlines. One of the more notable ones is Terry Francona retiring after this season. Obviously, manager of the Red Sox for all those years, for those championships in 2004 and 2007. And he's been the Guardians manager for a while now. And he took them to the World Series back when they were the Indians in 2016. And, so he will be stepping away from the game and retiring. And, I talked about this on the show, but, as much as he was, the manager of the Red Sox, and that's your rival, and, it's a team you're not supposed to like, being a Yankee fan, he's a big part of, my childhood growing up. He was, and, managed a lot of great Red Sox teams. I mean, the team that, came back from, 0-3 down in 2004 to beat the Yankees in 7 games. And, for me, I'm happy that I did not watch that because I have no recollection of that at all. I've mentioned this before, but my earliest memory is like 2007, which was oddly enough, was Joe Torre's last year. Well, at least managing the Yankees, then he went on to manage the Dodgers. But, yeah, it's it's sad when you're seeing people you grew up watching retiring. I mean, I'm seeing it everywhere. You see it in football as well. All the great quarterbacks that have been retiring over the last couple years now. And there's a few legends stepping away from the game as well. You got Miguel Cabrera retiring after the season, Adam Wainwright retiring after the season. It's it's sad. It really is sad because, I mean, for one thing, it's just a sign that you're getting older, and it stinks. It really does, but it's gonna happen, and and obviously you got a lot of players that are coming in, and a lot of young studs that are coming in and playing really well, so the game is in good hands. But it's just sad when you have to see legends retire. But yeah, Terry Francona, like I said on the show, I wish him, the best of luck, and congratulations on a great career, and just go and enjoy your life. And I did talk about this. He had some health issues, the last couple of seasons. He had to miss some games. So it's it stinks, but that it happens, and he's gonna be missed, from the game. So, but yeah, that was one of the more notable headlines of today. Also, I made sure to correct my mistake yesterday with regarding the Yankees and the Diamondbacks, because I forgot to mention about Aaron Judge hitting 3 home runs on Friday, and I just talked about the Yankees getting eliminated from the playoffs. But with that being said, I just was like nonchalantly just went, yeah, the Yankees, the Diamondbacks took the first 2, and now they're going for the sweep. And this was yesterday. And then as I'm, because I went to New York City again yesterday, I was like, wait a minute. Judge hit 3 home runs against, the Diamondbacks on Friday. And I'm like, I literally said that their Diamondbacks are going for the sweep. So I'm like, well, I need to make sure that I, correct myself. That's the other thing. I don't want to be wrong. There's going to be times where I screw things up, and whether it's pronunciations of names, there's going to be times where I do forget things, and obviously it's not going to be, it's just human error. It happens. I mean, it happens all over the place. It happens on TV. It happens on the radio. But guys make mistakes. People make mistakes, and it's going to happen. But for me, it's important that you recognize it, because I don't want to ignore it. I want to acknowledge, like, yeah, I got this wrong, or yeah, I messed this up. I want this to be. I want to be right. But yeah, I mean, there's going to be times where, like I said, pronunciations I'm going to mess up, and I might mix players up. I mean, one of the first shows I did, I said Pedro Alvarez instead of Yordan Alvarez. So yeah, I mean, it is what it is. It's a simple mistake. So, but yeah, I wanted to make sure that I corrected myself, because that would have been on my mind, because it was on my mind yesterday. So, but yeah, I mean, the Diamondbacks, they lost a tough series against the Yankees. The Yankees had a come from behind victory against them. And like I mentioned on the show, the Yankees, since August 28th, are 17-9, which is the best record in the majors. And September 1st is when they brought up Austin Wells and Dominguez. And, yeah, it just really makes you wonder what would have happened if they would have brought up all the younger guys sooner. What would have happened? I mean, they definitely would have a better record than they do right now. They're 2 games over, and they're either going to finish at 500 or like a game above 5, or 2 games above 500, right? Yeah. Because right now, so the Blue Jays and the Yankees, they start a series tonight. Gausman against Michael King. Then you got Barrios against Cole. And then the final game is Luke Weaver against Chris Bassett, which I think the Blue Jays should win that game. I mean, Luke Weaver actually did pitch well the other night, but now it's against the Blue Jays. I think the Blue Jays are going to remind everybody, who Luke Weaver is. Now, that's not to say Luke Weaver can't go out there and just surprise everybody and pitch well against the Blue Jays, but yeah, so also what's crazy is with the Yankees is yesterday was the first time that Aaron Boone was managing a game for the Yankees where there was no playoff implications. 0. Like, the first time he's ever managed when the Yankees are eliminated. And no changes are going to be made. Cashman's going to be back. Boone's going to be back. I don't know. And like I said, I really don't know what they're going to do. They have a lot of things they need to address. Aaron Judge talking about being a part of those conversations. But, yeah, I don't know. I don't really know. Listen, I mean, they got a lot of work to do. I mean, the biggest thing for me is they got to get left-handed bats. That's what they got to do. Because you see all these lineups, right? All these teams that are making the playoffs, they all have left-handed hitters. You know what? Let's actually go through it. So, let's start off with. I'll figure out how we're gonna do this, but let's go through the playoff teams, right? So, all right. So we'll go with the Astros first. So you got Alvarez, left-handed bat. Kyle Tucker, left-handed bat. And that's actually it. Wait, what's Dubon? He's righty. Okay, so not a great example. They only have 2 left-handed hitters in their lineup. Okay, what about the Mariners? J.P. Crawford, Raleigh, Kelnick. They're left-handed. I don't know what's Canzone. He's a left-handed hitter. Rojas, he is also left-handed. All right, so they had a decent amount of left-handed bats. That's just so funny. That did not help my case at all. Okay, so we go with the Rangers. Corey Seager, left-handed. Robbie Grossman he's a switch hitter, which the Yankees need. Carter, lefty. Josh Young he's a righty. Okay. Adolis Garcia is righty. Mitch Garver is a righty. Yeah. Nathaniel Lau is a lefty. Jonah Heim is a switch hitter. And Tavares is lefty. Oh, switch hitter. Okay. So there you go. You got some switch hitters in your lineup. All right? Okay. So now let's go to the Dodgers lineup from the other night. Okay? So you got Freddie Freeman, lefty. Max Muncy, lefty. Jason Hayward, lefty. Outman is a lefty. So again, multiple lefties in that lineup. David Peralta's a lefty as well. Yeah. A lot of lefties. Now you go to the Orioles. Okay? Orioles. Gunnar Henderson, lefty. Adley Rutschman is a switch hitter. Santander, lefty. Ryan O'Hearn, lefty. Kjerstad, lefty. Cedric Mullins, lefty. Austin Hayes. I think Austin Hayes is a righty. Yeah, Austin Hayes is a righty. Aaron Hicks, switch hitter. Right? All these teams. The Braves have Matt Olson. They have Albies. Right? All these left-handed hitters. The Yankees do not have that. So they need to go out and fix that problem. They just have to. Dominguez kind of solved that, but he's hurt, and hopefully he's back early. Austin Wells is a lefty. Rizzo you're going to get back. They need to add more left-handed bats on this team. They just have to. But, I don't know. We're just going to have to wait and see. Obviously there'll be content that comes out where where I'm going to talk about, rumors and things like that. So, that's going to be when it gets fun. It definitely is going to be tough at some points where there's going to be like, what am I going to talk about? Like, just what? I think I'm going to do like an Immaculate Grid segment where I just put the grid up and, we just do that because there's really going to be, at some points, really not that much to talk about. So, yeah, so I went on a little rant there. But yeah, most of the playoff teams, the Astros was not a good example because they only had Alvarez and Kyle Tucker. But when Brantley plays, that's a lefty right there. Trying to think, am I missing anybody? Trying to think if there's somebody else. Yeah. As of right now, yeah. But, that's what they need to do. So, but yeah, like I did talk about also yesterday who I think is going to make the playoffs. What the current, how it is right now is basically how it's going to be, I think. But we'll see. I think the Mariners, they're kind of, I think they're going to be the team that ultimately is eliminated and they're done. The Rangers, they've been playing very well as of late. They've won 6 in a row. They're in first place. So I think they're pretty much going to have that wrapped up. So, we're just going to have to wait and see, but I think that's what's going to end up happening there. And, the Astros, they picked up a big win last night. Verlander going 8 innings. I thought he was going to... I was keeping close with that game. And Verlander, I think, had like 91 pitches going into the 9th inning. I'm like, wow, he's going to get a complete game shutout. But I guess, yeah, he didn't really pitch that good in the 9th inning. They took him out. Abreu finished up the job. And then that was it. But, the Rangers, I think they're going to benefit from this series. Those two teams are going to beat each other up, and they're playing the Angels, who, the season they've had. So, yeah, the Rangers, barring a collapse, they got this division wrapped up. So, excuse me. So, yeah, Mariners, they have to win. They got to win this game tonight. They just have to. And you also got the Cubs playing the Braves. That's going to be a very tough series. That's over in Atlanta. Cubs need to win that. Listen, the Marlins, they swept the Braves. I'm not saying the Cubs are going to sweep the Braves, but the Cubs, they got Justin Steele on the mound. They got a decent shot, but you got Elder, who's been pitching well too. So it's going to be tough. It is going to be very tough, but I think anything is possible, especially with baseball. Anything is possible. So, yeah, it's just crazy that the season's almost over. This was one of the faster years ever, really, and I've mentioned that before. Opening day just felt like it was yesterday, and within the coming weeks, I'll go through and I talked about this. Teams that have been disappointing, I'll talk about them. I might do a list of of the biggest disappointments, and devote an individual segment to each team. I want to give all the teams at least a chance to shine, even though it's might not be for the right reasons. But because obviously with the show, the Yankees pretty much get mentioned on the show at least once, and also having all the Yankee stuff in the background, so they're always going to be there. But for the playoffs, you're not going to hear about them really. You're just not, other than when Aaron Hicks does something, Josh Donaldson does something, Joey Gallo does something. If one of those guys does something, then you know what I'm going to say. But yeah, but again, good for those guys. They're on teams that are in the postseason. So good for them. But yeah, no, the Yankees are not going to be in the postseason. The Mets. These are teams that had World Series aspirations, and they didn't even come close to the playoffs. Didn't even come close. And the funny thing is, Aaron Judge comes back, and the Yankees they ended up losing 9 in a row at one point. So everything kind of blew up in their face. But, you got the Padres and the Cardinals having down years. The Astros, they won last night, but, imagine if they missed the playoffs. That would be crazy. I don't think it's going to happen, though. I can't see it. But then again, I thought they were going to win the division, and it doesn't look like that's going to happen anymore. So, yeah, I don't know. Anything can happen. The Astros, they finished the season up against the Diamondbacks. Diamondbacks, they, laid an egg losing 2 out of 3 to the Yankees. And, they're going to need those games. The Astros are going to need those games probably. So, yeah, it's going to be very hectic. You got the Rays playing the Blue Jays at the end. The Orioles, they close out the season, I believe, against Boston. So, yeah, I think the Orioles, they should win the division. They play the Nationals now. I think they got this. But, again, you never know. But, yeah, Garrett Cole's pitching tomorrow night. So, he could, the Cy Young is pretty much his, but, he could really solidify that with one more very good start. At this point, Blake Snell's the favorite in the National League. In the American League, it's going to be interesting with MVP because, Corey Seager's has had a great season. Ohtani missing the rest of the year, is that going to impact it? I mean, I think he should still win MVP, but I don't know. I mean, him being hurt and missing a lot of games towards the end, that could hurt, but we'll see. Acuna should win MVP in the National League. Rookie of the Year, looks like it's going to be Corbin Carroll and Gunnar Henderson. So, yeah, I mean, still got some days left. So, a lot of those players can improve their stats and, make their case for why they should win a certain award. But, yeah, I mean, we're almost towards the end. And in the postseason, I think for the postseason, what I'll probably do is, like, for each series, I'm going to devote, like, a segment to just that series alone. So, but I'll figure it out as we go along here. But yeah, I mean, it's at times it's gonna get tough. Like I said, it's gonna get tough to come up with things. But I might do an Immaculate Grid segment because that's a big thing. Yeah, we'll just figure it out as we go. But also another thing is we've been getting now comments on our videos. I got some help with how to pronounce one of the players on the Orioles, Kerstead, with Orioles brought up. So, yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there. Also, got opinions on, the Heim Bloom stuff. And it was basically just what I was saying, just about, how he traded players. Like, he traded Hunter Renfroe for Jackie Bradley Jr. He let guys go. He traded Mookie Betts. Yeah, I mean, it's just not a good thing. And, for Red Sox fans, they're happy he's gone. And also, one of the comments on the umpire robot umps video, they said they were in favor of robot umps, which they basically said what I said in the video. Is umpires have a they are impacting the game. They are, and not in a good way. So, hopefully, and they're testing it out. Hopefully, they figure it out, and we get it sooner rather than later. But yeah, it's it definitely at this point, there needs to be a change there. So, but yeah, I mean, subscribers on both channels are going up little by little. We're getting more. We're getting a lot more views on things. It's a process, and it's going well so far, I would say. Obviously, there's more work to do, and we're going to continue to put out content every single day during the week. And yeah, hopefully we build off of this and we get to where we want to be at some point. And the other thing too is as we continue on, is getting more of that interaction with the viewers in the comments section. Because that'll also make things easier on us. Because listen, like taking questions and things from people in the chat also is good. So I'm not repeating myself at times. So yeah, no, but things have been going well first couple weeks. This is now week 3. I think week 4. I mean, this is week 3 of like the full-on launch, but I know we started the previous week and we did like a soft launch where we would stream, but it would be a private stream. So, but yeah, things are going well. I thought my door was being opened, but it was because my sister's bedroom is basically right next to mine. So, but I thought she was opening the door, and I'm like, please don't come in here while I'm doing the show. But yeah, I mean, family's pretty much been good with this, other than with a couple of mishaps. We're still getting work done around the house. So hopefully my house is fully put back together, at least downstairs part of it. Dad's got to do more work with that. So, yeah. But other than that, show's been good. I mean, there's still going to be mishaps here and there. That's going to happen. It's not always going to be perfect. We're always going to have mishaps. I mean, my dog's going to scare me at some point when she barks at something that she hears. But you know what? You just got to laugh. That's really all you got to do. So, but yeah, I mean, this week is just going to fly by. And then we're going to get more of an idea on, where a lot of teams are. More teams are going to get eliminated probably tonight. Giants lose, they're officially eliminated. If the Padres win, if the Padres beat the Giants and then teams ahead of them win, then that's it. They're both out. So then it's really just going to come down to the Marlins. I was doing pretty good lately. Now I slipped up with that. You got the Marlins, Diamondbacks, Cubs, and Reds. That's going to be it. And also another thing I forgot to mention. So Joey Votto, he was honored before the last. Because it's really his last. Might be his last home games with the Reds. So so he was honored, and that was it. That was his last home game. Because, I mean, you don't know. He might not come back. I don't know if he's going to retire. But, yeah. They play against the Guardians in Cleveland, and then they play against the Cardinals in St. Louis. So, yeah, so that might have been his last home game as a Red, unless they can make the playoffs and get into the division series. But, yeah, so, and the Reds, they got a lot of young players now. And yeah, Joey Votto's another one. I mean, he was on those good Reds teams with Jay Bruce and Brandon Phillips and, Todd Frazier. And I don't know what the future holds for him, but we'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, the Reds, they got a youth movement with themselves going on. So, yeah, I mean, that's just what happens. And he's another guy that I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't think there's anything about him retiring, but I don't know. So we'll just have to wait and see on that. But yeah, that was one thing I forgot to mention on the live broadcast. So but yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope everybody is doing good, and tune into the games for tonight. Again, keep an eye on Braves, Cubs, Mariners, Astros. Those are probably the biggest series that are going on right now. And, we'll be back again tomorrow. Don't really have a full outline of what the show is going to be on tomorrow, but it will be, obviously we'll do game recaps, news and headlines, and we'll have to figure out the other stuff as well. So, but yeah, that'll basically be tomorrow, so make sure to tune into that. It'll be on both YouTube channels, streaming 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Time. I'll have the other shows up from, yesterday's show will be up hopefully by the end of the day. It will be done by the end of the day. Have a couple of social posts that I usually come out with, so that's all for today. So make sure to keep an eye out for those. Make sure to subscribe, leave a like, and a comment. I'll try to get to them. That's with the videos. And also tell people that you know about the Patreon. Just have them go to patreon.com, search up GSMC Sports Network, and that's where you'll find the exclusive content. So that's basically it for this edition of the Patreon exclusive content for the GSMC Baseball Podcast. So once again, we'll be back tomorrow streaming 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Time. And, and then the Patreon video will be recorded shortly after. So, until then, I'm Kenneth Grunfelder signing off from the GSMC Baseball Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. Have a good day, guys, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Take care.